don't play The Sims to play with other people. If The Sims 5 is online multiplayer, I'm 100% not going to buy it. I know The Sims 5 online is gonna suck. The gaming industry is being destroyed by online multiplayer games, and The Sims 5 is gonna be no exception. Not to be dramatic or anything, but my life will be over if The Sims 5 is online. Do not do it. If The Sims 5 is an online cross-platform game, I will cut my head off and use it as a bowling ball, and that's just the truth. If The Sims 5 is online, I will not be buying it. We do not want The Sims 5 online. Please, for the love of God, don't make The Sims 5 online. If The Sims 5 is online, what would happen to CC? Sims 5 having an online option is all fun and games until someone tries to drown me for cooking our baby. Which one of my followers is gonna fight me via Sims 5 online? We need to discuss. Hi, my lovely people of the universe. It's me, Simple Sims, also known as Lexi, and today we're going to be talking about, yeah, you know what it is already, The Sims 5 Online. There is a lot, and I mean a lot, of mixed reviews about The Sims being online in general. They did have a Sims Online way back in the early 2000s that failed. Let me say that again. It failed. But hey, you know, it's 2021, it's the 2020s. Could they potentially bring something from the past back and make it work? Of course they could. So we have to just kind of give them the benefit of the doubt on that sense. But like I said, we are here to discuss Claire, I don't know you. We are here to discuss the future of the Sims franchise and people's opinions on The Sims 5 being online. So let's get into it. First things first, there is this theory that has been floating around the internet for quite a while that this arch in The Sims 4, so if you read it, it says there were 4 prototypes. The first prototype didn't open. The second prototype refined the concept, removing the defect by making a hole. The third prototype increased the size of the hole. The fourth prototype removed the sharp edges that were causing an increase in workplace accidents. And the fifth, Arch E, should be great, ... Now, it could be a reach. It very well could be a reach, but it is a very ironic description there, isn't it? There were 4 prototypes, Sims 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And then the fact that it just leaves off with the 5th should be great, ... Definitely sounds like they're hinting at something coming next. Now, of course, people could just, you know, say, well, it's an arch. They're just gonna have more arches. Of course. Duh. But for the little hopefuls out there, including myself, you could hope that that would be hinting at The Sims 5. But at this point, it really doesn't even matter because The Sims 5 has basically almost been confirmed. They have not necessarily named The Sims 5. They keep naming kind of The Sims, which it would really suck if we all play ourselves and think that it's literally The Sims 5 coming, and then lo and behold, they're actually just remaking The Sims Online and it's a complete spin-off separate thing, which would make a lot of people happy in a way because, as we're gonna discuss, a lot of people do not like The Sims 5 being online. And then it would also make some people pretty sad because we eventually would want a Sims 5, you know? Whether or not we would want it to be online, up for debate. But we all want to see the game that we all love so much keep progressing and growing in hopefully a positive way. So now let's talk more about the wants of the people. So Giuseppe on Twitter did this poll a while back, and there are about 834 votes. Not about. There are 834 votes. The poll is finalized, and 81.3% of the people that voted in this poll said that they would not want The Sims 5 to be online. Now, there are some jokes in the replies here, of course, that The 18% that do want it to be online are the employees at EA. But here's the thing. I feel as though everyone is kind of thinking about it a little differently. And I'll explain that a little bit later on. But first, I just wanted to definitely show you guys the results here, and that most people across the board do seem to want The Sims 5 online. And by no means are these 834 people representative of the entire community. I'm aware of that. But we do have to take these things into account, in that 81% of these people don't want it to be online. So there are quite a few examples of people having completely opposite views on what they want for the future of The Sims, like this example right here that I'm about to show you. So Gabby on Twitter says, and now they're trying to make The Sims 5 online. How many times do they have to fail with multiplayer sim games before they realize no one wants to play The Sims with their friends? And then right here, in complete contrast with Gabby, Sorcerer says, well, I personally would like an online Sims game. To do The Sims 5 single player with DLC is literally rinse and repeat with Sims 4. Online would be pretty cool to be able to play with friends and other players. So as you can see, some people will want to play with their friends and some people will not. So the only solution that a reasonable person could think of to solve this would be what? You guessed it, having a single player option and having a multiplayer option. Now, do I personally think that the multiplayer option would work for The Sims? I'm not too sure. Like Sammy here says on Twitter, the thought of The Sims 5 being multiplayer and online is kind of scary. I wonder how it would work out. Maybe like GTA Online, but like Sims style? No idea. So let's talk about it a little bit. What would The Sims being multiplayer actually be like? Because if you think about games like GTA 5, I don't know how many of you have played GTA 5, but I definitely have dabbled in GTA. And GTA 5 is a good game for what that game is. And by that I mean GTA 5 and The Sims are completely different for what the style of online would be. GTA Online, obviously you are driving around, you are, interacting with other people in the server, you can see other people driving around, you can kill other people, that's just how GTA is. But at the same time, no one in GTA Online is super concerned about starting families or building a house or even having custom content and like a buttload of mods, That's not necessarily how people play GTA, but that is how people play The Sims. So it would make sense that people would have hesitations, because how would mods work in an online game if, no one else has the exact same mods as you? Would they still show up? Would they not? And that is pretty much the same for custom content. If you have custom content downloaded and someone else doesn't, how would that show? Would it mess up someone else's game because you have custom content and they don't? And then it honestly goes the same with DLC. If someone has a DLC that you don't, how would that show up in the game? Would you just not be able to use DLC when you're online? It doesn't really make sense. I think that they could potentially have a way around that. And this would be probably extremely complicated and almost pointless, which is why I doubt that they would even do this. But technically, you could make that work in the DLC sense. If you, let's say, created a server with only the people who have the same DLCs installed. If you create a server with only the people with the same DLCs installed, then obviously they would all be on the same playing field as far as that is concerned. But then of course you would run into problems like, well, what if there's not enough people with all the DLCs, or what if there's not enough people with no DLCs? And then even still, people could have their own personal custom content in their game that might mess up someone else's online experience. So that's an issue. Another issue is just the pure gameplay factor. Because like I said, GTA 5, it works because no one is necessarily concerned with the other people online, and like I said, starting a family, building a house, all of that stuff. If you were able to build a home on GTA 5 online would slowly start to not work anymore, even for that game. Because at that point, you completely open yourself up to having other people influence your game in a way that you don't want them to. To further explain on that, that's like if you go on to the online mode and you build a house, someone else could theoretically, stand outside of your house and completely harass you. And don't even get me started down that road, because that honestly opens the game up to so many toxic and triggering things to so many people. Could you imagine, people who play The Sims to escape their normal lives? And let's say that these people are playing The Sims to escape a life that has had quite a few triggering and toxic things happen to them. Things that, of course, I won't name, but I'm sure that you guys can pretty much guess multiple things that might trigger a bunch of people. And that could easily happen online. And especially if there's a chat feature, people can send messages, which most online games, you would have some type of way to communicate with people. So that would also be a problem. But just imagine if you build a house and a bunch of people just creep on your front lawn. They won't leave your house alone. They won't leave you alone. Anywhere you go in the game, they just keep following you and bothering you. And how do you start a family? How do you have kids? And can you start a family with another online player? And then how would that work when they sign off? And the kids, who's gonna control things? There's just so many issues. And the only way to solve these issues would be to completely dumb The Sims down to a level that is so just bad that it is basically not even The Sims anymore. The only way to solve these problems would be to eliminate the ability to have children, eliminate the ability to build your own personal house, eliminate the ability to control multiple people at one time. These are all of the things that are relevant in GTA 5, since I'm specifically talking about the comparison between GTA to The Sims. I know a lot of people compare them all the time because GTA obviously has an online and offline feature, but those are things that are not relevant or that you're even able to do in GTA at all. And that is because the people at GTA are smart enough to know that that would never be able to work. You cannot have an online game where multiple people are able to have children that they would want to both be able to control, because that just will never work. And also, The Sims is way too real life to have, potential things happening in online mode that would honestly ruin the game for a lot of people, like I said, who have been through terrible things in their life, and other people might not even understand that what they do and say are triggering to people in the online world, but it would be. And that is something that I'm not sure that the Sims team, I'm not going to say the Sims team, I'm not sure that EA would be able to handle that situation as respectfully and as delicately as they should. Now, of course, everything is not always bad and all bad with The Sims 5 potentially being online. So let's kind of talk about the things that could maybe be cool or maybe work pretty well. So like Moises says on Twitter, hopefully The Sims 5 will be online so we can play with each other. of course, that would be a cool feature about The Sims 5. Now, what would make that work even better is if there was a way for people to kind of create like custom parties where they would be able to personally limit how many people and who those people are that are online with them. There are certain games where you can do that. Well, okay. So you can't necessarily always limit the amount of people who are online with you, but there are, of course, online games where you can start parties with people and make sure that your actual friends in real life are playing the game with you, and that would be cool, of course, to play The Sims 5 or any Sims game with your friends and you're kind of in the same world, talking to the same people. That would be really, really cool. If it could be done correctly, keyword, if it could be done correctly and not take away from the Sims game that we love so very much, that would be really cool. Another thing that could work really well, or potentially be a cool reason to have an online game, is could you imagine being able to maybe play The Sims 5 with your favorite YouTuber? You know, just think of like your favorite Sims YouTuber maybe, and think of them starting a party and you being able to kind of immerse yourself in their world with them and kind of play along with them. I know, of course, none of these things are for everybody, but I'm just trying to find the silver lining here, and that could be cool as well if you are into doing that type of thing. Also, another thing that could kind of be a little refreshing is that if The Sims 5 was online, then, like a previous tweet in this video mentioned, it would be kind of refreshing from past games, and it would add a little something new and something different. As long as you had a separation between online and single player, I think it would have the potential to attract more people to maybe play The Sims, and it would also kind of give you a nice little switch up between playing your regular single player game, and maybe if you're ever bored of that, you could just easily hop on over to The Sims Online and kind of see what everyone else is doing in the world at that current moment. So you guys definitely have to let me know in the comments below how you feel about The Sims Online, and would you buy it? Would you play it? How do you feel about it? Definitely would love to have a conversation with you guys and see what everyone else thinks about the game. As always, my name's Lexi, and I will see you guys in another video. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you like my channel, if you like The Sims 3, because I love The Sims 3, definitely feel free to subscribe to my channel. And I appreciate and I'm obsessed with everyone who has already. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.